Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon and you're watching M.O.N.Comics. It has been a minute. I decided to take Thanksgiving week off from releasing a video. It was just more important to me to spend time with my family, my kids, my wife. We celebrated my oldest daughter's birthday a little early because she was born the day after Christmas. So we wanted to give her some time that wasn't right around the holiday because it can be tough, you know, to disassociate a birthday from Christmas and all that stuff. So it was just so much going on, and I couldn't put out another long form video. I'm still working on the next one. It's going to take me a bit. And again, learning that editing software has not been easy. So I'm going to have some filler episodes in between with stuff I'm doing in my collection or you know, books I'm looking to pick up. And the thumbnail nor the title of this video are clickbait. I am not pursuing the Fantastic Four run anymore. I know I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. And this past year, I had a goal to obtain as many above issue 20 to 102, the iconic Kirby and Lee run, as I could. And it just got daunting. I love the Fantastic Four. I love their history. I love that they kickstarted Marvel's superhero era. I love the keys and first appearances, but besides being daunting, I mean, I guess there was a few reasons. Space, you know, I had like, I think I was 62 in of the 102, and I wasn't reading them all the time. I can read them online if I want. It was more just to collect the run. And when I first got back into collecting comics a few years ago, I really wanted to be a key collector. I wanted to get first appearances or notable things in Marvel's history, which I did accomplish some of that in the Fantastic Four run. But I wasn't going to be a run collector, and I was turning into this big run, you know. And yes, I've done the Man-Thing run, and I'm doing something that's killing the children, but those are smaller runs than this. Also, whether you like it or not, or you want to admit it or you disagree with it, I wholeheartedly have seen it because I was watching prices as movie announcements were, you know, coming out, pictures, leaks, stuff like that. Prices of the books were going up. You want to talk about expensive, you know, that doesn't even need a movie to boost it. FF1, you know, if you want to get that in a 1.5 to 1.8, you're realistically looking around 7,000 plus. You know, number 4, the first Silver Age appearance of Submariner, that's another big one, $3,000-$4,000 for a low grade. Fantastic Four 5, first Doom, even for a 1.5 to 2.0, you're still looking around 4,000 to 5,000. As a parent with 2 younger kids, could I have taken my time and saved? Sure, I could have, but I feel like I would have more fun collecting less inexpensive books that are still historical and be able to put money towards the more important things in life. Because let's face it, comics are a luxury item, and you know, I'm just gonna have fun collecting other stuff like I have been this year. I kind of started to branch out in the middle of the year. If you've been following my channel, if not, I've been really into pre-hero Marvel monsters and stuff that carried Atlas Comics, which would become Marvel Comics from the Golden Age till the Silver Age, you know, once the Comic Code Authority had come into effect in the 50s. So what am I holding on to here? This is the last of it. I was fortunate enough to split the books that I had between 2 different parties. And they're friends of mine, and I'm happy they're going to them. And whatever they do with them is up to them past that. They were very fair to me, and I was able to recoup some money. You know, you're never going to get all of what you paid, especially as time's moved on and we've gone away from 2020 prices and stuff's gone down drastically. So there's about, I think it split almost even. I think there's like 31 or 32 books in here, and the other person got a little less than that, actually, because I am keeping some books. What did I decide to keep? Issue number 51. This Monster was a great Ben Grimm dealing with being the Thing or being human. The dichotomy of that character. So I really want to keep that because it's a classic story. 48, 49, and 50, the Holy Trinity of the Fantastic Four run. So first appearance of Silver Surfer and cameo Galactus, first full appearance of Galactus, and just a great Silver Surfer cover. I kept issue number 72, which was the Kirby Crackle with a Silver Surfer on the cover. It showed that beautiful blackness, that crackle that Jack Kirby developed, because I love that. Also, anything that were gifted to me. My buddy Richard Westfall, a viewer of the channel, gifted me a slab comic in his 70s. It's I don't think it's a key, but it's just a great cover, and it was a gift, so I can't pass that on. I also kept issue first appearance of Black Bolt. I'll put it down here. That was a gift from Colossus Collector. Issue number 86, a great Doom cover, was a gift from Mike of Lunch Money Comics. So anything that was gifted to me, I kept. Anything I went out on my own, I sold. So my sad, maybe a little. I mean, no one likes not achieving goals, but it just wasn't in my heart anymore. And I really feel, I've talked to many collectors about this. As a collector, you evolve as a collector. What you like one day might not be what you like the next. So by getting rid of those 62 comics, I don't have much room. If you've watched my room tour video, I'm working with a small corner of an office that I share with my wife. I've got 3 short boxes, a 4th one on order just to facilitate a little more, but that I'm going to be maxed out. But this did free up some space so I can get some other stuff. I am going to continue probably picking up Pre-Hero Marvel Monsters and How to Blast, but I did think of a new outlet that will probably be 2024. I don't like making goals that much. Everyone puts out, or 2025, sorry. Everyone puts out their goals, collecting goals for the year. It's good to have goals, but shouldn't we just have fun, enjoy collecting, enjoying the hobby, getting what we can get and be thankful for it? I've always felt that way, and I've talked to other collectors that felt that way too. So I think I'm going to make it like some loose goals of just have fun and get as many first appearances of supernatural characters. I thought that would be really fun. I love supernatural characters. I love horror. I've already got Man-Thing. I've already got Werewolf by Night. Dracula doesn't break the bank. First Brother Voodoo. I've got First Mephisto. There's a lot of great ones that won't break the bank. Some of the more expensive ones, X-Men number 4, so first appearance of Scarlet Witch. That'll be pretty pricey, and I think the granddaddy of them all, and anyone feel free to comment below if you agree or disagree, but first appearance of Doctor Strange. What is that, Strange Tales 110, I think? Or 107? One of those two. But even that won't be as bad as trying to tackle FF1 or FF5. So I just thought going after supernatural characters, first Lilith. I mean, there's a good amount of supernatural characters I could go after and have fun doing. Might probably go after some more Daredevil because I've already got 1 through 10, most of the hard stuff's out of the way, and get the Frank Miller run and have fun reading that. So, I just wanted to share this video. I want to thank everyone who helped me along the way while I was trying to get my Fantastic Four run, whether they traded books with me or sold books with me or kept their eye out, for me. I appreciate it. I'm keeping the good stuff. First Black Panther I'm keeping. So yeah, I'm keeping a handful, the ones that are really important and iconic to me, and I'll probably never get rid of unless I upgrade. So this box signifies the end of my FF run. It's going to someone in the comic community, and I know they'll take good care of them and do what they will with them. But I did get some books, so let's talk about that because there's some cool ones. Okay, Fantastic Four news is out of the way. So what have I been picking up? Well, honestly, not much. Christmas is in a couple weeks. I got 2 young daughters. I got a wife, family, friends to buy for. So these books I actually didn't pay for right now, if you will. One was a trade, one was a gift, and one I paid for a while ago. The first book I want to talk about is one that I'm super excited to get, and it's very unique, and I learned some stuff after researching it. I got this in a trade from Bigby McFly, the comic guy, and it is Strange Tales issue 62 from 1958. Now, I couldn't find any credited writers, but the cover art is by Joe Maneely. Now, if you watched my channel before, you may have heard me talk about him. I think I own 1 or 2 covers with him, but he was a very talented artist. I love this cover, really beautifully done. His faces are always similar. If you see a Joe Maneely face, you can kind of know it immediately. Joe later became Stan Lee's guy, and it was unfortunate. He died, I think he was 32 or 33. He had an unfortunate subway accident. We lost him way too young, but Stan Lee loved him, and he was his go-to man when he was at Atlas. So this is a pre-hero Golden Age book, because it is from 1958. You can see it does have the Comic Code Authority up here, but it's not a pre-hero monster book because there's no monsters involved. There's 6 stories. I haven't read them yet. I glazed over them, and I really don't think there's a monster. What really drew this to me, it is a lower grade, but the colors are really great. And if you can notice, it has this girl walking through the wall. Some have theorized that this could have been where Stan Lee later got Kitty Pryde from the X-Men's power from. Being able to walk through walls has always been kind of a trope in stories and movies and superpowers, but hey, you never know. Stan Lee could have been flipping through some old books and said, hey, that'd be a cool superpower for a mutant to have. What I found really interesting about this book when I was researching it is this wasn't published by Atlas. It wasn't published by Marvel, even though Strange Tales, we recognize that as a Marvel property a few years later. This was published by Chillectables Publishing Company. Now, you're probably asking, who the heck is that? I didn't know. I had to look it up, and upon my research, I found out it was a shell company that Atlas/Marvel published under, probably for tax reasons. So doing more research, I found out that there was many of these companies. And actually, and I'll link the article down below because I found it a really interesting read. I'm going to blow your minds and tell you that X-Men #1 and Fantastic Four #1 were not published by Marvel. They were published by a shell company by the name of Can-Am. So really cool stuff I got to learn just from researching this one comic. I do have other Strange Tales later on in the run, but this is my earliest one. I might want to pick up some more. I really do. If I can find some more Joe Maneely covers, really great stuff. But love learning about comics, the history of comics. If you watch my channel, you know that about me. If you haven't, well, welcome. I love history. And this book offered some really cool stuff. So yeah, Strange Tales, 62. It's got the 10 cents up here. And yeah, Chillectables Publishing Company. And in this article, I'll link, it'll tell like all these other publishing companies. But I thought it was really cool. So was this a Kitty Pryde? Could it have possibly been where Stan Lee got that ID from? I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool. The next book was gifted to me by a good friend of the channel, my buddy Sal over at the Codex Comic Station. When he sent me the picture, I knew what it was immediately. I just hadn't picked this book up yet. I should have by now, being a fan of these franchises, because it is really important to them both. It is Dark Horse Presents issue number 36 from 1990. And it is in phenomenal shape. I was like, Sal, do you want anything for it? Trade? He's like, no, I just saw it and thought, you'd be more appreciative of it. And I totally am. So like I said, 1990, cover by Chris Warner, who did the iconic cover for the first issue of Predator #1 a year before this. This was written by Randy Stradley. And why this is important, this is basically the birthplace of the Alien vs. Predator franchise. Yep, this is the first piece of official media to carry the title. And it's just a beautiful cover. I love it. If you look down here, Aliens vs. Predator. And Dark Horse Presents usually had like 3 different character stories. Sometimes they were RoboCop, sometimes they were Terminator, whoever was under the licensing for Dark Horse. But really pumped to have this. I haven't dug in and read it yet, but I want to see where it all begins. And I think I've always loved the composition of this cover. The Xenomorph jumping over with his tail in like a perfect circle, and the Predator's got him by like the throat and has the knife gauntlets out. Really cool. Who else is on this? Heartbreakers, Delia and Celia, and then Alien vs. Predator. So yeah, this is basically the birthplace and the first time Aliens vs. Predator in a licensed official comic. So Sal, thank you, man. If you guys haven't checked out the Comics Codex Station, go over and give them a follow. Those guys are a wellspring of knowledge as well. So thanks for that, dude. Very happy to add this to the Aliens and Predator collection. I got a stack. I just organized my comics over Thanksgiving break of like, besides moving the Fantastic Four out, just seeing like all the Predator comics I had and now Aliens I'm amassing, and it's just a treasure trove. So it's really fun to look through those. So awesome. Dark Horse Presents 36. Really cool, iconic first meeting of 2 of the greatest sci-fi characters ever made. Okay, last book. I actually, like I said, I bought this book in August. This was a present to me, if you will, from the past to the future me, or now me, from Terrificon. I met Charlie Cox. I had gotten a little 3D cowl signed by him, but I knew I wanted a book signed by him and graded and to encompass the, you know, the memory and the trip. And a lot of people were buying the, you know, there's a comic variant with like the picture of Charlie Cox with the handkerchief over his head and Kingpin. It's like a white cover. A lot of people were getting that signed, and I wanted to go outside the box. So I went with a Daredevil issue 500, variant cover by Gabriel Delato. The creative team was Ed Brubaker and Ann Nocenti Stories. Lark Guadiano Jansen and Sam Near, and then of course Gabriel Delato cover. On the left-hand side, pinups by Bendis, Mac, Darrow, Romita, Quesada, Guadiano, Grampa, and Zurcher, and it's a wraparound cover. So really cool. It is awesome. I just wanted something different, and Daredevil looked fierce and awesome in this. And it's a cool wraparound cover. And I was just wanted to commemorate this. And when I met him, I said, you know, I froze. I was, you know, I was a little starstruck. I think Charlie Cox is a great actor. I love him as Daredevil and anything else he's played and I've seen him in. And I didn't know what I should have said. Could you just put your favorite Daredevil quote from this series on there? That's all I had to say. And I was like, I don't know what I want you to write. So he wrote, and it's even up here as a sketch. To Brandon, great to meet you. Yeah, like he'll ever remember me, but he was a really kind guy. Charlie Cox, between the photo op and getting stuff signed, was just so cool. I thanked him for being our Daredevil and really representing the character well. So this was on 8/18/2024, the last day of Terrificon, and I didn't care what the grade came back. I didn't have this pressed or cleaned or anything. I bought it as a high-grade copy from the seller. It looked great, and I thought it had a 9.8 shot. And again, when I was trying to figure how long it was going to take to get this back, after like 2 months, I called Captured Collectibles, which was the company that was CGC witness, you know, certified to do that. And they were like, oh, we have it here. We're going to ship it out this week. It's a 9.8. I was like, oh, awesome. Like, I didn't really care about the grade. It was just about the experience, the encapsulation, and so that, you know, this will never leave me. Obviously, it's to me, so my daughters can see, you know, who did it, the significance, you know, who signed it, and also the date will, you know, I'll pass down stories of going to this amazing Comic-Con with a bunch of friends that I met doing YouTube. So really, really cool piece. The last piece of Terrificon months later to get back, and was very happy about this. So Daredevil issue 500, signed to Brandon. Great to meet you, from Charlie Cox. So very cool. All right, guys. Pretty short but sweet video of just some really cool pickups and announcement about not continuing the Fantastic Four run. It's all right. I'll find more stuff to collect. Really, really thankful to get, you know, I'm getting, if you watch videos from this time last year, I'm probably adding a lot more, but it's become more about quality over quantity, and what I'm getting into my collection, I've become more selective. And I think that's another part as a collector of evolving, of just, you know, narrowing down what you really want, what you really care about, especially when space is, always the enemy, like it is in my place, and it might be for you. Sound off in the comments, guys. Is anyone else a fan of Joe Maneely's art? Anyone else familiar with him? Predator vs. Alien. What's the next one I should read after this one? And what would you guys have had Charlie Cox write? Off the top of your head, what would you have him written on this book? Because I'm blanking. But anyways, what do I got coming up? Next weekend, the 13th, a week from today, because this will drop Friday, I will be on No Good Comics channel. My buddy Justin, he, you know, I got one of these books given to me by a friend of the channel, and I read it and I loved it. And he asked if I was reading the series because he knows I love the character, you know, the Aliens character. And I said yes. I read the first one. He said, well, the second one's out, but the next one's not coming out till February. So why don't we do a read through on it and talk about them? So we are going to be discussing the first 2 issues of Avengers versus Aliens, or Aliens versus Avengers. So a really cool story. Again, thanks to everyone for getting me into modern comics, because I was just so bent on silver, gold, and bronze age collecting that I would have missed out on these great stories. And so this is the first issue, Scotty Young variant cover. A really cool. I'm going to read this when we're on the channel, what this says on the front, but it's really funny. And then this is a variant cover. The artist escapes me. I'll put him down here, but I had to have it because Vision is, you know, using his molecular destabilization. The alien's grabbing through him, and he's just blasting him with a stone. So really cool. Join us next week at 8 p.m. on Justin, aka No Good Comics channel, next Friday. And then Saturday, I believe it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can check Colossus Collector's Instagram page, but Christmas with Cousin Colossus. He's going to have us, a bunch of YouTubers, myself, a bunch of others on there. And we are going to just hang out and celebrate the holidays. We've got some games to play with people, probably some giveaways. It's going to be a fun time. So, guys, thanks for coming back, watching another video. I appreciate you having patience with me while I'm, figure out editing software and, just not getting a lot of books in, but just wanted to like really showcase these special books. Yeah, here we go into the holidays. I hope you guys have a great, safe weekend. Until next time, keep reading those comics.